I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramblin' Man Podcast, episode number 27. This one is with my good friend Kevin Faddis on being a firefighter. Kevin has been a firefighter for a very long time, so it's interesting to hear the path he traveled to get to that place, where he's at now, what's going on in the firefighting industry right now, different interactions with like government officials, etc. You just have to hear him talk about it more. Lots of laughs, lots of inappropriate comments on this podcast. It's a really good episode. Our sponsor yet again this episode is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, social media firm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. They can handle any of your business needs: marketing, branding, photography, videography, writing, podcasting, pretty much anything you need, they can handle it. If you'd like to learn more about Feral Giant, visit feralgiant.com or on any of the social media at /feralgiant or at Feral Giant. Give them a follow. Let them know that Ramblin' Man sent you. Without much further ado, here's Kevin. Have you listened to all the episodes? We're going ahead and going. So
no, I'm good. I'm ready.
Have you listened to a lot of the episodes?
I've listened to 2 of them so far.
The Aaron Donovan and the Motherhood episode.
Well, of course, I got to listen to Aaron's. I mean, I know there's a snort or 7,000.
Oh, my God. And the funniest was we got down towards the end, and it was like 2 hours and 52 minutes, and she was like, no, we have to go to 3 hours. I was like, okay.
Well, I'm definitely not going to lie to you. I scrolled through there and see how long some of them went for.
Oh, I've got the one with Shane, the comedian, where we did 5+ hours. I split it into 2. I was just like, I can't put this up as one. I've got one coming out that it's 3 hours and 45 minutes. And the lady at the end was like, I like to talk. I was like, I could tell. I was like, man, but it was good. It was good. It's one on yoga. And she and I talked about North Knoxville redevelopment on the front end for like an hour.
Well, the yoga, I could probably talk about it for I tried it for like 1 minute. I'm not lying. It hurts.
Oh.
I give the yogis all the credit in the world.
I told her, I was like, there was one position that it was like you put your arm back up and under and you put all your weight on your shoulder. I was like, I've dislocated this shoulder more times than I can count. I've dislocated this shoulder blade more times. I can't do that. It hurts.
Well, I don't think people understand that most 300-pound men don't do a whole lot of yoga.
No. Although there were some dudes.
And I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about me as well.
Yeah. I went to one where there was a guy in there that he was not a small dude, but he was up on toes and doing all this stuff. I was like, get at it, man. I was like, how are you doing? I was like, that's amazing. It blew my mind.
I appreciate them representing the big fellas.
Yeah. So you said you're originally from Atlanta. So when did you move up here?
I moved to, and it's kind of funny, my dad, I just put it out there, my dad left my mom.
Oh.
We went down to visit Grandma and Grandpa, pretty typical, me and my 2 sisters, and he went to get cigarettes. And
oh, my God.
I love him. I mean, I moved up here to be with him. I finally understood those 2 are oil and water. My mom's Puerto Rican, and she is meaner than hell. And she's only 4 foot something.
Oh, my God.
I ain't kidding you. She is I love her to death. She's a spitfire.
Yeah.
My grandmother's same way. And I wish I learned Spanish. I know all the cuss words, but That's all I got from them. But I moved to Knoxville in 1986.
Okay.
So it was. I grew up in the inner city in Atlanta. So
Oh, wow.
moving from College Park area
Yeah.
to Halls,
Yeah.
it was a culture shock. Yeah.
And even Halls in 86 when
They won the state championship then.
Oh, but it was, what was it? It was like 89, 87, 88. It was somewhere right in there where there was a black family moved out there and they had a cross burning.
Yes.
Because we were looking for moving where we were at over here, more on the east side, and they found a house up in Halls, Mom and Dad did. And I swear to God, like 2 days later that happened, Dad was like, "Nope, hell no, I'm not coming out here."
Well, it was Greenwood Forest. I don't know if you know what ever happened with that.
No.
It was them.
Who is?
The people that had the cross in the yard.
Yeah.
The police department set up some cameras and found out it was them that did it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So
I can't tell that story anymore now.
Well, you can, but now you know the ending.
Yeah. I know the PS to it.
You know, yeah, no kidding. When I moved to Halls then, like I said, I'm half Puerto Rican. I was brown then.
Yeah.
I looked like I was in Menudo. I used to tell people I had hair, had a mullet. I told people Ricky Martin took my place because I was too old.
Oh, my God.
So I was actually probably the darkest person in Halls.
The one person of color in Halls. Oh, my God, though, College Park. Did you ever listen to Outcasts? Because they give shout-outs to all that. College Park, that's how I've learned about some of the inner city in Atlanta.
You know, it's. I was looking today, as a matter of fact, useless information. My wife, I was talking to her earlier, and she actually sent me that weather forecast we talked about earlier. And I sent her some statistics about College Park and Clayton County and Waka Flocka's from Clayton County. I had no idea.
That's awesome.
So there's our claim to fame, I guess. But, I mean, no, I did not know that. You know, used to for fun. After I graduated Halls, let me bounce back a second. Brandy, our mutual friend Brandy, she was actually the first person that I kind of saw when I was in Halls, because the teacher, she said, how about introducing yourself? And I always hated that. Hey, everybody, look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's going to come up front now and talk.
Yeah.
So en route to the front of the classroom, I remember knocking Brandy's book off her desk and being embarrassed. And I was like, oh, God. And, you know, everybody was like, he's from Atlanta. He'll kill you. You know, I already had a reputation before I got here. You know, so it wasn't so bad.
Okay. Don't mess with him. Oh, my God. It was, when they start talking about that, listening to Outcasts and Goody Mob and all them, they would talk about Atlanta. And then there was a time in the mid-'90s where I went down to Atlanta with a friend of mine. And back then it wasn't as growing or burgeoning it is. So we ended up making some wrong turns. And all of a sudden we look around and I was like, okay, there's that. I think we're at 5 points. Oh, crap, I've heard about this on a song. I got to go, man. I got to go. We're two. And it was a girl who's very blonde and very pretty. I was like, I'm big and goofy. You're gorgeous. Yeah. We got to go, man. We got to get out here. Like,
well, that's the thing. I've always been comfortable in my job, even as a firefighter. You know, I was lucky enough there was an opening in Lonsdale. I loved Lonsdale.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because growing up where I grew up in Atlanta, you have regular people, hard-working, blue-collar workers.
Yeah.
Then you got scrote bags.
Yeah.
Then you got dope dealers. I mean, there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
So I like that diversity.
Oh, yeah.
I don't agree with the dope dealers, but I do like the diversity of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you and I have talked about some interesting people who walk
amazing. It's amazing. I mean, you know, those people keep us in business, so thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Okay, so you came here in 86.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play football in high school?
I did. Yeah. I played football. I wasn't that bad, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Played defensive end. A friend of mine, I kind of think about the Al Bundy years. Those are behind me. But, you know, my claim to fame, people still talk about it. I blocked the kick at Powell. We won 14-13.
Oh, my God.
Almost 26 years later, people still talk about it. So yeah.
Well, when we played, my only connection to Halls in football was our freshman year. It was me and a guy, D. Damien. I was on one defensive side. He was on the other defensive side. I'm me, so I was probably like 6'2" and 230 or 240.
That was in third grade.
I'm not kidding. That was like barely 14. Like on my birthday, 14. And we played out there, and Damien was on one side of the line, and he's 5'4", 5'5", and weighs 325 pounds or something, like big dude.
Yeah.
But because I was so tall, I would line up and my head would be across the line.
Offsides.
Yes. But my feet, the linebackers would be bitching at me because they would be stepping on my feet, and the ref kept going, 72, you're over, or 74, you're over the line. I was like, I can't help it. I can't, leave me. And it was stupid because it wasn't like it was my whole head. It was like a fraction of my helmet. So I got called for offsides a couple times. And then I would just stand up and grab the guard and the tackle and push them back. And so they never ran to my side. They were like, Jesus. And they would run to D. And he had like 20 tackles that game. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, I'm pushing them your way.
Yeah.
Give me
assists.
credit.
Give me some assists.
See, they should have showed you a little leeway there on the line, kind of like the old dead bodies. You know, they drew a chalk outline.
Yeah.
That should have been yours, line, and then go around your head.
Yeah, I'm not getting up any faster. I'm still awkward as hell. Like, I'm not firing off that quick.
So you went to Fulton.
Yeah, I went to Fulton.
So I don't even know this cat's name, but when I was a freshman, we played varsity ball, and they'd put you on the special teams or something like that. And my friend John Whiteside, I was in there on kickoff. Number 44, don't know his name to this day. He was a little fire plug. But he come out of nowhere, and I mean just clean my clock.
Oh, my God.
I told my buddy, I said, man, go in there. See that 44, that short guy in there? I said, hit him. He'll fold like a table. Man, he got the hell knocked out of him, too.
Oh,
he
gosh.
come back. I said, dude, that guy hits hard. Still don't know who he is, but, I mean, I give him credit.
86. I'm not sure.
It was probably about 88. Because 86, I was in 7th grade.
So that would have been – well, it depends, because if he was a freshman in 88, he would have been a senior my freshman year. So
I don't know who he was, but, boy, he was low to the ground, and he'd put it on you.
Dad, still, there was his quote, like in the yearbook, his senior year was like most memorable moment. There was a guy who played football at Fulton, Jackie Walker, who went on to play at UT. It's like the most famous photo at UT of him jumping. But he was a black man. It was the mid-'60s, and they were playing some godforsaken county around here. That's what I'm going to call it. And some dude was like hurling the N-word at him the whole time. And then there was a play downfield, and the guy tried to come up behind him and hit him. And somebody yelled, Jackie. He turned around. He forearm shivered the guy in the jaw, broke his jaw. His helmet went flying, and Dad said, it sounded like a shotgun went off. Wow. He's like, I bet you could have heard it down at the Kroger. That's how loud it was. It echoed. And he was like, that's my most memorable moment, when he ripped a dude's jaw off.
There you go. Well, that seems to stand out, you know.
On the football
field. Wasn't that math test, you know, on Tuesday.
Hell no. And there's probably some stories he could not tell in the yearbook.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. There were several I couldn't talk about.
Although there's one buddy of mine and I, Colby, that we would talk about our whangs in the yearbook, but never. There was a guy named Hooch who was a big dude, and we'd say, dude, I'm like 20 hooches stacked from here to the sun. Like all these big, long diatribes. I was like, we are idiots.
We're the only ones that know what they mean.
We did this for 4 years. At least we were consistent, I guess. Okay, so you move from Atlanta. I will always circle back around.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
What did you do right after high school?
After high school, I actually moved back to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. Graduated high school. I had an opportunity to play college ball. I was done. I mean, I was burnt out.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought, man, there's all my friends are here.
Yeah.
Or in Atlanta. You know, I still had friends in Atlanta. Some of them went to prison. Some of them died. Yeah. You know, but some of the good ones, you know, I went back and worked for a trucking company. And was making good money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was 19. You know, I moved back, 19 years old, making how much was it? I was making part-time. I was making almost $20 an hour on a loading dock. You know, I didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
I had to work a minimum of 30 hours.
Is this Teamster?
No, I wasn't allowed to be in the union. It was Southeastern Freight Lines.
Okay.
A local gentleman owned it out of South Carolina, I believe, Cherry Hill.
Okay.
And all my friends worked there, and we worked third shift and making good money. Good money right out of high school.
$20 an hour.
Yeah, but it was hard work. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I bought my first car, brand new car. My mom co-signed for it.
Yeah,
it was a '92 Mustang LX with a 5.0. Son, the coupe style.
Nice.
Oh yeah, but and I did that for a year, and then I got homesick, and I wanted to move back, and I eventually did.
Okay,
and actually moved back to Texas Avenue. They opened a terminal there. And the terminal manager in Atlanta, his name was Kerry Stritt. Come to find out, he was a UT fan, diehard.
Yeah.
And he said, Faddis, he said, we got an opening up there. You can be the dock supervisor. How's that sound? I said, yeah. I said, I'm ready to go back. So went back, and the day I showed up for work, the terminal manager came up to me and said, hey, you know you were supposed to be the dock supervisor? I said, yeah. He said, well, that's not going to pan out because – my nephew's going to be the dock supervisor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I went from it was $19.73 an hour in Atlanta, and then I moved up here to $8.50.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I still have my car.
My God.
It hit me in the pocketbook.
That doesn't, so funny thing is, right before that, right around the corner on Western, my dad worked at Bowman forever.
Yeah.
Like he worked in trucking for like 40 years. And he worked at ABF there on the corner.
I tell you that and this, the trucking job and my fire department job.
Yeah.
I have not had a whole lot of jobs, but I enjoyed the trucking job as well.
Well, I remember when he got out of the service, he went to work at UT in like the service department where they would drive around and fix stuff. And then he worked at KUB for a little while, but then he got into trucking. And he said he wished he would have gotten to be a Teamster earlier because you could pick up your seniority and wherever you went, it moved with you. Mm-hmm. But with that, trucking companies kept falling, kept closing up shop. And like one of them closed or merged with another company. So he went from like Carolina to ABF. And the people at ABF were just, well, he doesn't care. The people at ABF were just like, I don't care if you have seniority, you're still going to have to work, third shift and you're low on the scene. And he was like, no, I've been doing this for 15 years, 17 years. You're not going to tell me same thing. Yeah, you're not going to tell me some person who's doing this 5 years has more seniority just because they started at ABF. Like he raised holy hell. But yeah, he did it forever. And the last play, man, you talk about Spitfire. I've heard more stories about him fighting with terminal managers and stuff.
It happens.
Yeah.
It does happen.
I think he called one of them a dumb son of a bitch in the office with the guy running the entire place. He just pointed at him. He's like, this dumb son of a bitch. I was like, good God, Dad. Oh, God.
Well, it's funny because the guy who owned the whole company is Southeastern.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. He's an older gentleman walking around on the dock without his steel-toed boots.
Oh, God.
And here I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, pal, I don't know who you think you are, but you're not supposed to be on this damn dock, especially without safety equipment.
Yeah.
And then my supervisor is Junior. He's country boy. He's Faddis, waving his hands. He said, what are you doing? I said, he can't be out here. He said, he can do whatever he wants. I said, hell no, he can't. He said, he owns a company. I said, sir, come back. Yeah, good to see you. Now, actually, he shook my hand and thanked me. He said, you're absolutely right. I'll go in there and put on. And I thought, damn, I hope I still have my job.
Just sweating like, oh, God. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So where'd you go after that, after Southeastern?
After Southeastern, I came back here, and I worked for a long time in the title business, believe it or not. Abstract title, property
titles. Okay, yeah.
A woman who I think of her as my second mom, Carolyn Talent. She kind of took me in because my dad had a rough spot going through divorce, had a wreck, had a head injury.
Jeez.
I mean, I pretty much, and I don't mean it bad, I pretty much raised myself.
Yeah.
But it's what makes people who they are, I think. I don't fault my father by any means. I don't have any kind of issues. But we're close. He did the best he could.
Yeah.
And, I helped. I started working at Winn-Dixie when I was 14.
Oh, my God.
To help him.
Yeah.
Wore the red smock, moved up to the dairy section, which that was quite a, worked with a guy named Buttermilk. And,
oh, my God.
He was bigger than you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's a big guy, a big, strong guy. But, it's after that, I worked for the title company for a while. And then I went to Pellissippi for a year and a half. I worked at RPS is what they called it at one time. Now it's FedEx Ground.
Oh.
So I worked, in the mornings I took a class. And then I'd go into work at Abstract. I'd get off there, go to night school, get off there and go work at RPS, get off there, do a little studying, do the same thing over and over.
Wow.
So, it was cool. But here's the thing. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
I told my mom when I was younger, I said, I want to be a NASCAR driver, a chiropractor, or a stripper.
Oh, my God.
And I'm doing none of them.
I could have never,
Actually, fireman was in there.
Okay.
And she said, it's probably going to be your best bet. So, way to help me out there, Bob.
Oh, my God. No, oh, God. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm just laughing also imagining you in a NASCAR car.
Yeah.
Because all those guys are tiny little dudes.
See, my mom still lives in Jonesboro, Georgia.
Okay.
Down there off of Terra Boulevard. It's probably about 8 miles from the Atlanta Raceway.
Okay.
So.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And hey, to be honest with you, I'm not a big NASCAR fan.
I'm not a NASCAR fan.
I can't. My dad sleeps by him. He'll turn it on and say, God, I got to watch the race. And that means I'm going to take a nap and watch the last 5 laps.
That's my grandfather with golf. He would take naps sitting up in his chair watching golf on Sunday and wake up and be like, okay, good. Lee Trevino's up.
Oh, Lee Trevino looks older. I must have slept horribly long.
Okay. So when you were at Pellissippi, were you taking kind of like general classes?
I was.
Kind of getting a base.
I was. And to be honest with you, I thought, well, I'll go, I'm single. I'll go school and find some. Let me tell you, night school is not like it is on HBO or Showtime in the 80s.
Even daytime Pellissippi is not.
Well, we had a teacher there, and if he ever listens to this, I'm sorry, you did look like Pat from Saturday Night Live. It was a business writing class.
I think I had that teacher.
But he had women all over him all the time. I did not understand it.
Yeah.
So all we did was write business letters to Bose.
Yeah, stereo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Can we not write somewhere else?
Yeah.
But it actually came in handy for me finally.
Really?
It did, like 3 years ago. My business writing skills. I got promoted to an assistant chief, and I had to write this big, long dissertation on a budget and things like this. And I thought, damn you, Pat.
Yeah.
You did help me.
But then the chief goes, why are you talking about sound quality in this?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Too much on Bose. It's still stuck.
Well, he did have a ploy. He told me, he said, if you write a really good letter and we keep sending them, maybe they'll send you a free sample.
Oh.
I said, hey, look here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's why he had all the ladies.
He must have.
I swear, I think I had that. Yeah. I think I had him for like a speech class or something.
Well, we finished class usually on Friday nights. He'd go to Applebee's on the corner of Peters Road and Cedar Bluff, and we'd hang out there, drink a beer or two and talk about our class.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. Okay, so you took the class at Pellissippi. You're working 2 jobs. Was there like a breaking point or something to where you're like, this is too much?
Yeah, it was. When I was working at the title company, I was doing some running. Delivering packages and closing packages and things like that. And I thought, this is not really where I want to be. You know, I'm still going to go to school, and going to school and working like that was killing me. I mean, it was absolutely killing me. So I thought, well, at the time, the woman, her husband worked at Budweiser.
Okay.
So she said, hey, why don't you get on, see if you can get on at Budweiser, get a route job or something.
Yeah.
Well, I had to start, which is fine. I am all about starting at the bottom and working your way up. I am.
Yeah.
I tell my 9-year-old son, work ethic, character, and integrity equals your reputation. And that's all you have in this life.
Yeah.
So they put me in the garage and I'm about as mechanically inclined as a big silverback gorilla. I mean, I suck. I mean, I can change oil and things like that, but you look at me and think, man, that guy's probably got some mechanical. No, I don't. I can lift heavy things and put out fires. That's pretty much it's what I can do. But they moved me to the shop, and all I did pretty much was crush oil filters, hand people wrenches, make the guy coffee. His name was Ralph. He was kind of an asshole. He's gone now, so I can say that. But every morning he'd say, my coffee's not right, Kevin. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't drink coffee.
My God.
But washed cars, washed the trucks as they'd come in. And I thought, boy, this ain't fun either.
No.
So,
did you at least get free Budweiser?
We got them. We got dented cans at a discount, and being low on the totem pole, all we drank was Busch. everybody else had the pick of the litter.
Oh my God!
I don't think they do dented cans anymore because it's pretty easy to dent cans. From what I understand.
I'm trying to remember. There's some comedian who talked about his dad working at a brewery in like St. Louis. I think it was Budweiser or maybe at Milwaukee, but said that they told him every day you can leave, because this is like in the 50s. They're like, every day you can leave with as many beers as you can carry. So he would walk out with like 3 cases of beer. Like, what are you doing with all that beer? Like, also, it's crappy beer. It's not going to stay good that long.
It'd be amazing if you had like a circus clown come in there balancing 40 cases of beer on the way out. But it was a good job. It really was. I mean, I'm appreciative to the people out there at Budweiser. And,
a lot of jobs like that are character builders. Like, you never know when they're going to come back later. Because I freaking worked at Taco Bell. Yeah. And there's still some things I do now that I think about. I was like, I do that because I worked at Taco Bell.
No, and I get it. I mean, my son, not to keep going back, I tell him that I'm certainly not perfect, but when I'll say Tug, we call him Tug. That's his nickname. I said, Tug, sit down. He goes, I know, life lesson coming up. That's good. That means awesome. I've got him. Yeah. I know he's listening. Yeah. And Rome wasn't built in a day. I still use that one. You got to work for it. And that's the thing that's crazy about the fire department, and I'm sure other places. Yeah. Is sometimes you have people in there, few and far between, that just want to be in charge all of a sudden. I've been here 15 minutes. Yeah. And I can do it better than you. Yeah. So it's you got to take a step back and breathe and say, no, this is why. Now I'm finding we have to explain things. Yeah. Instead of actually doing them. Yeah. But it's and I'm sure you'll circle around like you said, but it's interesting. I will say this, how I've always honestly wanted to be a fireman. There used to be a fire station now close to where we lived, and I think I'm being paid back because I was the kid who rode his bike in between them when they were playing basketball. Oh, yeah. They're like, get out of here, kid. I want to see the truck. Get out of here,
my God.
So that happens to us quite often.
I'm trying to find a quote. I think I have a quote that you might like. Do you know who Robert Forster is? He's an actor. He was in Jackie Brown.
My wife loves that movie.
So I stumbled upon somebody did an interview with him because he disappeared forever, and there's this great little interview where he's talking about he was at a point of almost giving up, and he had a restaurant that he goes to every morning, and one time Tarantino walked in there and he was just like, "You come here," and started talking to him, and then he said 6 months later he walked in and Tarantino was sitting in his seat. And he handed him a script, and he was like, I want you to play the lead in this. And originally they were wanting like Robert De Niro to play that role.
Oh, wow.
And Tarantino was like, no, Robert Forster is my guy. And luckily he had made Pulp Fiction, so he was like, I'm doing whatever the hell
I get to call this
hell
shot.
I want. So he did it. And he's the one who brought him back. But Forrester has this adage that I think you'll like that you may pass on to tell you. This is his mantra. Accept all things. That gives you a good attitude. Deliver excellence right now. That gives you the best shot at the best future you've got coming. And the reward of self-respect and satisfaction. Never quit. You can win it in the late innings if you don't quit.
Oh, that is good.
Like he was like, I live by those three things. But yeah.
See, the good thing about that is I'd have to study that for a while.
Yeah.
I could just tell him work ethic, character, integrity. Those are pretty quick.
That one, I had to pull it up on the phone because I was like, I can't remember because he has some weird twists in here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, but that's absolutely right. That looked good at a fire station.
Yeah.
Sure would. Hanging on a wall somewhere.
And I know a designer who can make it look all pretty.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Okay, so working at Budweiser, and were you still going to school while you were working at Budweiser?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just general courses. Like I said, I was going to probably do something in business. Everybody was doing something in business.
Oh yeah.
But just to get a degree.
Yeah.
And I think I'm like half a year, something like that. And honestly, I'm not going back.
No.
I mean, I just be honest. That's what people say. Man, you can finish up. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't the most honorable student in school. I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I didn't apply myself really. I mean, I could have done better.
You're working two jobs at the
You
same
can hear my English. I could have done better.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even in school, I learned a lot, and it's funny because I received a backhanded compliment from one of my teachers that I had in general business. She actually asked me to come out and speak at Halls High School, and I thought, well, I go talk to kids that are in second grade and talk about my job, and don't be afraid of me when I'm wearing this, and then I sound like Darth Vader when I wear this, and here's my helmet. I said, do you want me to bring my gear? And she said, no, just come out and talk, and what do you want me to talk about? Job and skills. And I said, well, okay. So I showed up at Halls High School. I said, what exactly you want? She said, look, I'll just be honest with you. She said, we didn't know if you were going to make it or not. She said, you're a good kid. Said, you made okay grades. You never got in trouble.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what you were going to do in life, and you made it. And I said, well, that sucks. You fished me out here.
Yeah.
You want me to be an example poster child of, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
You can be somebody.
Even though you're a screw up now,
Yeah.
you can be something later.
And it wasn't like that. I mean, it really wasn't in school. But I am thankful that I am where I am, and it wasn't handed to me.
Yeah.
And that's I can honestly say, and I tell my son this, I'll tell anybody, I don't owe anybody nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's a good feeling. It really, really is. I had to have help getting on the fire department, talking to people that knew how to get on. Do you know so-and-so? Check him out, and just consider him, not put him on there, for instance, but consider him, look at him. And, all the stuff that people ask me, even now, can you help my son get on? I cannot, and this applied to me too, I cannot pass your test, your civil service test. I cannot pass your background check, your polygraph for you. I cannot pass your medical, physical. I cannot pass your agility test. Once you get all that down, then maybe we can recommend you, once we see your resume. But, that stuff you got to earn that. You have to do that on your own.
Yeah.
So it was, I'm blessed. I really am. I'm doing what I love.
Yeah.
Some days are better than others, but I knew going in I'm not going to be rich. But I'm giving back and I'm helping. And, and I enjoy doing that.
Do you get asked to go and talk to elementary schools quite a bit, or do you all get hit up? Because we live in that weird time now that, do you know micro dirty jobs?
Yeah, Mike Rowe, yeah.
It's still one of the best things I've ever seen. It's the first time he went and spoke before the House of Representatives about wanting to start a national PR campaign to get kids into plumbing, into
it's funny you
service
bring
industries.
That up. So I went to Adrian Burnett last month.
Okay.
And I've got a friend who's a teacher there. Her brother's a firefighter. He hates speaking in public, so I do.
Okay.
So, usually I show, hey, this is what you need to do to be a fireman, stay in school, get good grades, listen to your teacher, listen to your mom, stay out of trouble. This year was different, and I felt it. And I heard it from the teachers saying, you don't have to talk about college.
Yeah.
Talk about trades if you want to. Talk about, and I'm encouraging my son, he ain't got to go to college if he don't want to. I want him to develop. I wish I could do electrician work or plumbing work. I mean, my gosh. I mean, I had a toilet screw up. $700.
That's exactly what Mac Rowe said. He said he lived in an apartment in New York, and he ended up having to leave a check for the plumber to fix just something with his toilet, and it cost more than his rent for 1 month. He said, we're about to get to a point where that's going to be 4 times that because it's so special. And this is like 10 years ago. He went and gave this speech, and I've seen he's went back like 4 times. He's went back like 4 times, and every time he dresses down less. Like the first time he was in suit and tie. The last time he was in like an untucked shirt and jeans. He was like, no, I think it's more like if you're all not going to respect me, I'm not going to respect you.
Oh, absolutely.
But he is totally right about the trades, because when I went to Fulton, it was you had upholstery, woodworking, auto mechanics.
I know a guy who did. I got an old 72 pickup truck. It was my grandfather's. David Korn.
Yeah.
He did my upholstery. He's amazing.
Yeah.
He just got back from a show in Vegas. He is amazing.
Yeah.
And he learned it at Fulton.
Oh, hell yeah. And I think they've gotten rid of all that up there, which bums me out. But it's this weird thing of like the college thing. And I've heard some people, like, it's almost better to take a year after high school and just work. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those, there's some people who said, you know what you do? You work, you live with your folks, and you still be a kid for 1 more year.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Where you don't have the pressure of school. You don't have the pressure. You work to earn money to enjoy yourself for a year, because you're going to learn more about yourself and your own self-confidence in that year. And then after that, go to college, go to trade school, whatever. But just take a year and just enjoy your life.
Yeah. When I graduated high school, it wasn't that I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Whitey, John Whiteside, we moved into Nayland Hills Apartments.
Nice.
It's funny because our guidance counselor called us both in. They usually called you in one at a time and talked to you. You might be good at being an electrical engineer or joining the military or you know, being a teacher.
Yeah.
They called he and I in together. And the first thing out of my mouth was, I've got enough credits to graduate. She goes, Kevin, you've got more than enough to graduate. She said, you're definitely leaving here.
Oh, my God.
And she said, but you boys might as well just join the Air Force or Army or something, if they'll even have you. And I'm like, what? Why? We're not bad kids. I don't get it. But I mean, we moved into Nayland Hills Apartments. I had an air mattress. It's a truth. Yeah. And I'd wake up every morning like a little taco. I had a cordless phone that was awesome that I got at Circuit City. And I bought it on credit. I had a 27-inch TV that weighed 3,000 pounds that I got from there, too.
Yeah.
And I remember it was $700.
Yeah.
And it was heavy as hell. And that was my room. Air mattress, clothes, my TV, and my cordless phone.
God, a young back. That's the only thing that can hold up to an air mattress.
Well,
I went to a friend's house and laid on an air mattress like a year or two ago. I was like, I can't breathe. Yeah. I woke up the next day. I was like, oh, my God.
You never appreciate, when you're younger, I could have slept on my head and have,
Yeah.
I'm sure, woken up underneath the coffee table. What am I doing here?
I remember sleeping. My friend had a bunk bed, but his room was disgusting. So I just sat on his bunk bed, leaned up against the little pole going up to the upper bed, and slept for like 4 hours. and I remember waking up going, I'm still tired. The floor's looking good right around here.
Oh man, it's I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh no,
of growing up, I really wouldn't. Some were good times, bad times. You know, But I even tell, I keep referring to my son. I mean, he's an old soul.
Yeah.
He really is. He is wise beyond his years, and he's 9. And I take him with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in school, he'd probably be sitting here with us, honestly.
Yeah.
And I take him to meetings with city council. I take him to meetings with the mayor because I don't have a nanny.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we don't have child care. When he was younger, I sat in many a meeting with Bill Haslam because I'm also the union president.
Yeah.
And Larry Martin, with Tristan Sittner.
Yeah.
And even Mayor O'Hara.
Yeah.
He sits there and minds his own business, you know, and, we get stuff done. So
that's how my dad and uncles, when we would go to the beach or whatever, we didn't have a lot of money, but a bunch of us would get rooms to where that's the only way we could afford to go. But they would take me everywhere with them, and we'd go wherever we go. And then when I got into middle school and Dad got more involved in like neighborhood association stuff, I would end up writing his speeches for him when I was in middle school.
Cool.
And sitting in the back of city council meetings, just like, why am I here? I got homework, man. I got to figure out geometry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is a life lesson, son. You need to pay attention. Yeah.
Well, and I probably know more. It's probably more beneficial to learn about city council than is geometry. And what I do, I just draw pictures.
No.
That's my joke. I just PIKTURS. I draw pictures.
The only time I really use geometry, I found myself using it in my head the other day when I answer a wreck or something and the tow truck shows up and I'm like, well, how are they going to get this? Oh, they're going to hook to that.
Yeah.
And that's going to pull this way. And that's going to, hey, believe it or not, some of those guys, whether they know it or not, they're pretty,
using geometry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So let's see. Working at Budweiser, still going to school. What was next?
I actually applied for the fire department.
Okay.
And
about what year is this?
It's 1995.
Okay.
1994, 95. Because I graduated in 92, went to Atlanta for about a year, come back, went to school for about a year and a half. And went back actually to abstract again. This time I had a little more responsibility. I was working at the courthouse, searching titles.
Okay.
And so that's good. You get to meet a lot of people in passing. People get to see you, you know. And that's kind of, there was a gentleman named Jack Barnes. Okay. He's dead now, but he used to be, he's almost like a Kaz Walker type.
Oh, God.
I'll never forget Don Sundquist, which I didn't know Jack Barnes. Everybody else knew Jack Barnes. I don't know who Jack Barnes is, but he always had a cigar in his mouth. And he actually went to help me out. He helped me out. He set up a meeting for me to actually speak with Victor Ash.
Really?
I don't know what about, you know. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'd like to be a fireman. Would you please consider me?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the test. And
Victor's like, what?
well, it's funny because I actually snowed Jack.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Really?
I'm usually a dressed down kind of guy. What you see is what you get. And my mom happened to get married that day. So I was wearing a suit.
Oh, my God.
And he come in and he said, I'm looking for a guy named Faddis. I said, that'd be me. And he said, well, look at you dapper young man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And, I got on and he wanted us to help him do something, set up a Christmas party at the Curbella Temple.
Yeah.
And at that time, Don Sundquist was going to be there, the governor. And he showed up, and Jack started screaming at Don, cussing him out. And I was like, hey, man, that's the governor. And he told me to shut my damn mouth. I said, okay.
Oh,
he said, this is my event. You don't tell me what.
Oh, my God.
And that's the way he was. I mean, he was a Kaz Walker type. I never got to see Kaz. I've watched his stuff.
Yeah.
But Jack was he had a good heart.
Okay.
But he was as gruff could be.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to go through. I was actually an alternate. Come to find out, I thought I did pretty good, but apparently all the ones who were slated to go to the class, I guess they had a foul in their background or something like that, and I was lucky enough to get on in 1996.
Oh, wow. Okay. Man, so you've been doing it 22 years?
It'll be 23 come May.
Wow.
I look like a young man, I know. Yeah. No.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. I can't. Some person the other day, they're like, I said, how old do you think I am? They're like, 33. I was like, God love you.
We'll see if we grow our hair out. They'd say 133.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just fortunate to not have gray hairs in my beard. That's the only way.
Yeah.
I got to knock on all the wood when I say that. God knows if I grew out my hair, yeah, it probably would be salt and pepper.
Well, see, we have a joke at the fire station. One of the guys I worked with at Lonsdale, he's got a double crown. Do you know what that is? On his, yeah, I don't either. It's a made-up term, I believe. Okay. But he's balding. Yeah. So I can see it because he's shorter than I am. So I'd say, hey, your double crown is getting thinner, and he'd get mad. I'd say, why don't you shave your head? Why don't you just go ahead and shave it? Yeah. He got me. And I didn't even know what to say. He said, all right. He said, I'll shave my head if you grow your hair out. And I'm telling you, I'd probably look like Bozo the Clown, that old toilet bowl seat around the back of your head.
I joke because there was one, I was working on a project and stuck for like 4 days in front of my computer editing video. And I woke up, I edited video, I went to bed. I woke up 4 days, and then like on the 5th day, I got up and I looked in the mirror. I was like, I look like George Costanza because it just went all the way. I was like, I got to shave my damn head. I was like, I can't believe I've let it go. And that was like 5 days. I was like, in 5 days, I went full on Costanza. It is the horseshoe.
Yeah, I call it the old toilet bowl, the toilet seat look. Yeah. But my wife, God bless her, she said, well, you do have hair. That don't look bad. Yeah. And that don't look bad as she's walking away. I don't know what that means. So when I was working at the print shop, they brought in a photographer to take photos, and one of them, she took a photo from above of me sitting at the computer, and I saw the hole back there. I was like, I didn't know it was back there because I had thick enough hair to where you couldn't really feel it or anything. And I saw that, and I was like, all right, I'm shaving my head. I can't. Well, I'm still mad at the lady from Ross the Boss. I still remember her name. Her name was Tammy in Halls. And every time I'd go, you have the thickest hair, Kevin, the darkest, blackest, thickest hair. You'll never go bald. Tammy, where you at now?
Tammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've got Tammy right back here. Yeah. Tammy, get you on out here. No, sorry. But, okay. So you were an alternate, somebody failed, and you got on.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. And I had absolutely zero experience.
Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, that to me, in my way of looking at it, is probably good. Yeah. And the reason I say that is we had some guys who worked in previous departments, and I'm certainly not knocking them. Yeah. But now I'm going to be trained the way they want me to be trained. Right. I don't have to change my way of thinking. Yeah. And man, it was great. I mean, great group of guys, and they were exactly right. You blink and it's like that. I mean, here we are going in my 23rd year. It's hard for me to believe. It really is. Now, in my mind, I'm still that young guy. Yeah. My body keeps telling me you're not really. So, yeah.
It's 96. There's been I'm trying to fish my way around this. There's been so much development in Knoxville since 96.
Mm-hmm. Finger annexing. Things of that nature.
Yeah. Has that caused problems in your world, or like people building out stuff and not knowing what they're doing? And
I'll give you an example. So there was some apartments built over off Walker Springs that used to be the county. Okay. Well, they wanted to be in the city. Of course they did. They want the luxuries, fire department, police department, garbage pickup. Those places burnt like 3 times because at that time the codes were different. County codes, city codes. They didn't have to have a firewall going all the way to the top. Yeah. And we've lost 2 or 3 of those buildings in the past 15 years or so. Really? Because in the city, the code was you have to build a firewall all the way to the roof, inside to stop at a fire stop. Right now, me working west, and I've told these people this, North Shore Town Center. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's North Shore at Pellissippi.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the city.
Is
It's
it really?
a long way for us. Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, finger annexing, the Target out there, the Costco, there's some houses, and that's the city. And we answer that, and it takes a long time to get there.
Yeah, there's been all this. Do you know about, like, I got to circle back around to something, but do you know about this, like, Jim Clayton bought the police station on top of the hill?
Yeah, I can tell you, I found out about that the day of the mayor's address of the city. I looked at the chief and went, what?
When I heard about that, I was like, how? Why? I don't understand. But somebody later was like, what they should do, the police department should just take over Easttown Mall.
I've mentioned that.
Because there's parking galore, you have interstate access, and somebody's like, well, the only problem is exactly what you said. Then they've got to go way out west. It's like, well, you're talking about 5 to 7 minutes from where they're at right now.
Well, if that part what you're talking about, I had suggested it as well. I'm just talking about the administration, administrative offices, maybe the logistical stuff.
Even
because
the training center or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, good God, they've got so much room out there.
Our training center is built on top of a landfill.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's probably got 100 foot of asphalt on it.
See?
It's still
Fire department and police department training center out of Easttown.
Yeah, I have a real good feeling. I mean, that St. Mary's is going to be the spot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is weird because growing up, that was the big hospital. Like that's where grandparents went.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to what they're going to do out there at Easttown. Honestly, I mean, because that is a huge footprint out there.
I know everybody wants, and I'm. We're not going to get into politics, but I've considered myself a centrist. I feel like there's the fringes, the edges, they're wrong. There's got to be something in the middle that we can all agree on.
I'm with you. I remember years ago, I don't know what the scuttlebutt was on and I was working at the title company then, so I guess it's probably been 25 years ago. The office that I worked at was on North Peters Road.
Okay.
Which it backed up to the property that the main event's on and all that behind it is. And, they talked about making that the town center or making that the downtown, the new downtown at the time or moving everything, the city county offices and stuff out there for some reason.
Good Lord.
But it's as far, and I tell people all the time, I'm only talking about the fire department.
Yeah.
We need a station out west. We need a station east.
Yeah.
Midway Road, we answer. Strawberry Plains, it has a larger we call them target hazards, hotels, things of that nature. North, Emory Road's growing.
Good Lord.
South's growing. Everywhere's growing. And, that's some of the things as the union president. I like to call it the association president.
Yeah.
As we're a right to work state. But I mean, myself and our members, our e-board, have a good working relationship with administration, whether it be the fire chief, whether it be the mayor, some of the city council members. The big thing was about our pension. We bucked up against that.
Okay.
And, I still don't understand why that changed.
Yeah.
But it did. It was a trend across the nation.
Yeah.
And we weren't hurting. We're not hurting now. So there's some things that I'm working on to try and help with that. But
but the reason why I say that about the government is like there's a company in town that owns Sawworks Brewing, the Old Hole Dobbs on Central, Easttown Mall, Standard Knitting Mill.
Yeah.
They own all of those.
Wow.
And they're not doing anything with any of those businesses. And that's when I was like, at what point can the city come in and go, hey, you're not doing anything?
Yeah.
Like you're literally just sitting on this and making promises. Like there's a lot of people who kind of got screwed with the Easttown deal.
Yeah.
That they promised all this stuff and there were people contractors lining up work. and then they just screwed him. It's like, at what point is like, can we pull your business license?
No, you're right.
You're
right.
You're not working. Like, because I think also Hill Standard Knitting Mill would be a great place for a police department or something. You know, it's just such a big, good building that's.
Yeah, they are. They really are. And you know, a different use, enhanced use, refurbished.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised. Not surprised. I'm actually amazed how downtown has really, I mean, they have really, really turned that around. I'll be honest with you, I was skeptical.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, I was, you know, when I was, you know, several years ago, I was skeptical. I was skeptical about the Brownlow stuff over there at Walmart over off Cumberland. Now, I will say, and the mayor knows this, not political again, but the Cumberland Avenue corridor, oh, my gosh.
It's
I don't get it.
There's part of me that doesn't care because I've just learned a long time ago, don't go down Cumberland.
Exactly. See, in my line of work, we can't
you don't
get
have
fire
that option
trucks there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
And you know, even fire cars, my car that I drive when I'm going to a scene, you know, everything's vertical now.
Yeah.
You know, so we have, you know, when you're setting up a ladder truck, you got to be so many feet away from the building to get the optimum angle of a ladder.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Wow.
So hopefully, and I'm sure they are, all the sprinklers and everything in there, you know, most of the time, newer buildings like that, it's just combustibles and they're gonna burn. You know, your couches, things like that, and they'll be contained to one room.
Yeah.
So that is good. They've gotten better at that, but still, you know, at the same time, it's dangerous. I think it is.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
That's also we've talked just on like the music side about like Cumberland and talked about like the old city and how like you have Southbound and Hannah's and all those weird clubs and you have all those college kids going there. And I was like, well, when I was a kid, I didn't go to UT, but everybody kind of stayed on the Strip.
Yeah.
I was like, but now the Strip is almost like Gatlinburg, to where it's Burger King, McDonald's, it's all these big corporate businesses. I was like, nobody can go in, so the kids, and that's not safe for the kids. Well, that's one where I'm like, thank God for like Uber and Lyft now, because I think the kids now, the parents are smart enough to be like, I'll cover it, but do not get in a car if you're going to drink. Yeah, they get it. Yeah, it's a little bit better. But I don't know. It's a big, Standard Knitting Mill, Hull Dobbs, and Easttown kind of drive me nuts. Because I think there could be good things at those places.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of sitting there. Like, just sitting there. And I don't understand.
No, and that's, you know, you got an interstate there.
Yeah.
You know, I think are they still talking about putting apartments over at Easttown?
I don't think so. I think they finally shut down on that. I can ask Dad. That's his neighborhood association is out there. And I remember he was on the news not long ago because something else came up about that business. And I think he cussed on the news, which was probably not good. He's just so pissed. He's like, what the hell are we doing out here? Like, because, they were promising they were going to do almost like high-end condo. They were going to move all the businesses to one side, high-end or nice condos, a big amphitheater to where they're going. I was like, that would be perfect.
Heck yeah.
I was like, the only one thing that they didn't talk about is like, you need to add like three more restaurants and be good restaurants.
See, that's I can tell you, I hate, me personally, Turkey Creek's awesome, but I don't like getting into all that.
No,
you know
that feels unsafe because it's one in, one out.
Oh,
like it's
and that's the city as well.
Yeah,
we answer that.
Oh my God!
But there's some pieces of county, like Belk. Is in the city. Belk Men's is 50 feet to the left of it. That's the county.
My God.
Now we'll still answer it. You know, if it's on fire or if somebody's dying or somebody's hurt, we'll still answer it. You know, it's not like this is the county. We stop here. You know, we do still answer it, but it's weird. It really is weird.
Huh. It's the county fire department. Is it volunteer based or is is there actually a fire department?
It's subscription based. It's a for-profit corporation out of Arizona, and Knoxville's actually their largest market.
Huh.
Right now.
Okay.
Even and I'm not going to blast them, but they're a for-profit corporation. They have the ambulance service here in Knoxville, and I think their fire service is just a branch off of that.
Okay.
So good guys, but again, the corporation. Nobody sees the corporation people.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make a living too.
Okay. All right. So you get started. You come up. Where was the first station you were?
First station is Station 14 at Merchants and Central.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. And as a matter of fact, I've put in for a transfer to go back.
Nice.
And I'll probably finish out my career over there.
Okay.
Because we have an assistant chief leaving there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get to go out there and finish up my career there. I was there for about a year. I left there, went to Baxter Avenue.
Okay.
Was at Baxter Avenue, drove a ladder truck, and got a lot of experience there. Good guys, good old salty captains. Good, we call that the first fire district.
Yeah,
it's where a lot of the action is. Baxter, Mechanicsville, Lonsdale, Linden Avenue, headquarters, Station 20 on West Hills. But they're always running.
Okay.
But you have a lot of the government subsidized housing in there too. We and a lot of that, some of those houses are dilapidated. You have slumlords in there who don't take care of some of their stuff, and then you just have accidents, and then you have scrope bags. So it's real diverse. But I mean, I was telling somebody today at the gym. They said, we'd like to go to this station. This station runs a lot. I said, well, it changes, about every 10 years. Like Baxter Avenue used to have fires all the time.
Yeah.
Now they're revamping those older houses, along Glenwood and through there. And it's great because we're not seeing as many fires and things of that nature, cleaning it up. And but after Baxter, I went into got promoted to a captain. And went into field training officer, FTO. Okay. So I got to help train firefighters, which honestly I did not want to do that. I mean, it's when Chief Perez was there, and he promoted me, and he asked me what I thought, and I said, I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
And I had no choice. I could either deny the promotion or do it. And you know what? In the end, I'm glad I did it because I got to see a lot of the other side, the administrative side of it. And it really helped me out because we train a lot.
Yeah.
We really do. Not only on the fire grounds, but on the computer scenarios. I mean, we do a lot.
Yeah.
My wife, actually, his Fitbit actually saved me. I'm going to say save me an argument because I guess my wife thought I'd just go and sit.
Yeah.
If we don't have a fire, I guess I'd just sit for 22 hours.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm logging 17,000 steps a day, she's like, what are you doing? I told you we don't sit.
Yeah.
We answer other calls, and we have to do this and do that and train. And, well, I didn't know that. Well, heck, you're my wife. I keep telling you that. Do you not believe me? But, FTO for about a year. And it's funny, the deputy chief at the time, Chief Presley, I told him, I said, Chief, I want to put in transfer. He said, I'll transfer you in 1 year, Faddis. I don't want to hear no more. He's quit talking about it. Okay. So I marked it on my calendar, and I never mentioned it again. I walked in there with the transfer paper, put it on the desk. I said, Chief. And he said, I told you. I said, it's been a year today. He said, you've been counting down? I said, I've been counting down. And I said, you made a promise. So I actually, there were some other promotions that went on.
Okay.
And they actually wanted to move me back. They actually wanted to move me to campus at Station 9 on Highland Avenue. And it's a pretty sought-after station. They run a lot of calls and do some standbys at UT. And, it's a good location. It really is. And then there was another opening back at Central and Merchants, and then there was an opening in Lonsdale.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me, they said, Kevin, we're going to send you to 9. And I was like, I really don't want to go to 9.
Yeah.
I said, really? That's probably the best one out of the whole deal. We're giving you first shot because, you were FTO. You helped us out. I said, I want to go to Lonsdale. They said, really? I said, yeah. They said, really? I was like, yeah, I do. So it was almost going back, honestly, back to Atlanta. And that's why I like to go back there, is because I remember the diversity. I remember the people. I remember growing up and seeing some of the good things and, some of the bad things.
Yeah.
When I was living in Atlanta is when Wayne Williams stuff was going on. I don't know if you know about all that.
Yeah.
Kids going missing.
I did not know about that until, I'm not kidding, like 3 months ago. I heard it on a podcast. There's somebody big who's like a comedian or a rapper or somebody who's telling a story about he walked home from school and somebody who said he was a coach picked him up and took him home.
Yeah.
But it was right at that time, and it was in that area where it was happening.
Yeah, they had
and
curfews.
The mom was freaking out.
Yeah.
And it turns out, no, it was a coach. And the guy was like walking up, and the mom was about to kill the dude. And he was like, no, I swear to God, I am a coach. And it was some weird thing like he coached 8th grade kids versus like 6th grade kids. They just didn't know him.
It was honestly a crazy time. You know, we didn't have social media back then, so you had the news, and that's all you had.
Yeah,
and it was a big,
and 30 minutes of it.
Yeah, yeah. And, we're under a curfew. And when the lights come on, my mom wanted to know where I was, what I was doing. At that time, and I rode my bike everywhere. And it's funny, when I moved to Halls, I had my bike.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I remember riding my bike over to Brandy's house, and her subdivision was like 10 miles away. They're like, are you crazy? I said, man, that's how we got around to Atlanta. What's wrong with you all? But, Wayne Williams, times like that, it was crazy. It really was. We were in the house, the street lights come on. Yeah. Where you at? Get in here. And it was a big scare. I mean, it really was.
On the flip side, Dad's told me stories about when he was like 10 years old, hopping on a bus from my grandparents' house up here on Washington Pike to downtown to go see monster movies all day downtown. And he's telling me about this in like 88 when I'm 10, and I'm just like, I don't want to go downtown. There's drug addicts in Crutch Park. Now, I don't want to go downtown, Dad. I was like, I can't imagine that.
Well, see, that's the thing is, I look at my son who's 9. I keep going back to, I was at home by myself. I'd walk home by myself. Domino's Pizza was big. I'd save my lunch money for on Friday. I could order a pizza.
Yeah.
And we had what was called a Fry Daddy. Me and my buddy John Mitchell, he had a Fry Daddy. We'd cook French fries in this big greasy thing that could burn the neighborhood down.
Oh, my God.
We were unsafe as all get out.
Yeah.
But there we were, me and him, ordering a pizza, pepperoni pizza, and eating French fries.
I would walk to East during the summer. I worked at the ballpark in the afternoon and night. I would save up change and walk out to Easttown and watch a $3 movie like every day, every week. I saw Encino Man and Friday like 30 something times.
Both great movies.
Classics. One was one summer, one was another summer, because I was like, it's hot as shit. I'm bored sitting at the house, so I'm just going to walk to Easttown. And I would just walk across 5 lanes of traffic to just, over hills, down the wrong way, doesn't matter.
Well, skipping back a little bit, when my dad took us down to Atlanta to see Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
And then he went to go get some cigarettes, and didn't come back. There we were. We were stuck. And something that I admired about my mom was, we had to live in subsidized housing.
Yeah.
But she worked her butt off.
Yeah.
She had 3 jobs. I didn't get to see her a whole lot. My grandparents lived down there, so that happened when I was 4. But what I tell my son, and when I look at him, it's going to sound crazy, I was drinking and smoking when I was like his age.
Wow.
9.
Wow.
And it's not a fault of my grandparents.
Yeah.
I was running the roads out there at midnight, but they knew where I was.
Yeah.
That's not an excuse, but I remember cruising with some of my friends. They were 18 years old, 19 years old, and the little Budweiser pony bottles. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we were cruising And it's back when they had I was introduced to Run DMC, was the first rappers I heard down there. And I remember being in my buddy's Firebird over at
oh my God,
was
it a T-top? Please
it
tell
was,
me it's a T-top.
It was awesome.
Oh my God,
it was the newer body style at that time when Knight Rider and stuff like that came out. So I never forget, we were at Safeway, and that's where they'd cruise over off Terra Boulevard, and we were all out drinking our pony bottles, and here comes the cops, and everybody scattered. And I remember a cop saying, you, and you over here now. And I remember I was behind that tire, and I reached out to grab that bottle. I was probably about 12 then.
Yeah.
Pull it in. He said, and you. He said, get over here. So he said, I need everybody's IDs right now. And there I am. People 1767, 1768. And he gets to me, and he goes, where's your ID? I said, I'm 12. He said, he said, what? I said, I'm 12. And he looked at the guys. He said, somebody get this baby son of a bitch back to his mama now. And
oh my God.
Oh Lord. But that's, I tell my son stories like that, not to scare him, but I want him to know, look, dude, all you got to do is go to school, do good, and we'll take care of the rest. Just do something,
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't change that for anything in the world.
They finally at about 14, my dad and uncles, I've been playing poker with them since I was 8 years old, and they started telling me stories, and every one of them would end with Dad turning to me and going, don't tell your mama. Like, just telling me these rough stories about when they were kids.
Well, I can honestly tell you, across the hall, I still, and this sounds crazy, like Guy Beloved Towers, Cagle Terrace, some of those places around here in Knoxville, when I go in there, it's sad to say, I smell, when you walk in the lobby, that's what it smelled like me in our apartment. Oh, yeah. I remember the people across the hall. This is crazy. It's crazy, Jody. I was probably about 9.
Yeah.
Me and the kid across the hall, we'd wrestle. Well, I didn't know it. They were betting on us. We were really fighting.
Oh, my God.
And the kid bit me, and I kicked him. And this glass table, he fell through the glass table, and it cut him.
Oh, God.
And my mom busted in over there because she heard him crying, thought it was me, and saw all this money laying around. And she yanked me up from there and called the cops. I had no idea.
Wow.
She said they were betting on you all when you were fighting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But it's funny. People probably say me, they're like, he's from Halls.
Yeah.
No, I'm not from Halls. No. And that's the thing in Lonsdale.
Yeah.
That's the thing where I'm at. You give respect, you get respect.
Oh, yeah.
Out there. I've made a ton of friends out there.
Oh, yeah.
Just by being nice to them.
Yeah.
And these are guys that you don't want to run into. We see them out, and they'll help you.
That's the weird thing about trying to explain to people the Fulton experience. Because when I went to Fulton, it was a lot rougher than it is now. Like, we had cops up there every other day.
So was Lonsdale, honestly.
Yeah.
It's rougher back then than it really is now.
And
nobody's listening to that from Lonsdale, but that's the truth. I mean,
and back then, a lot of kids that were in Lonsdale or Western Heights went to Fulton. Like, they were the rural kids, because rural shut down the year before my freshman year. So a lot of rural kids, and we had a lot of fights like my freshman year, seniors from rural and seniors from Fulton who just didn't get along.
See, in Atlanta, they called those racials. At the end of the year, they'd be Morrow High School and maybe Jonesboro High School. Yeah. And it'd be the blacks against the whites. I never forget my friend.
No,
Rusty.
This was black on black. Yeah, this was everybody.
This was
tough.
Yeah,
tough, poor white kids.
Yeah,
and fighting alongside black kids fighting. Same thing. Like, I think we were all just such a weird melting pot of poverty that it was just like, no, everybody just fought everybody. Well, there was very rarely was there any racial elements. In fact, like my junior year, a kid came up to me and a white kid dropped the N-word and said he was moving to Central to get away from all the, and I was like, don't ever say that shit to me again, because I don't tolerate that.
Yeah.
I was like, and B, you're going to Central, you idiot. Go to Hall. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, why are you going? There's more problems at Central with race problems at that point than there were. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, man? But like my graduating, I think 1 year when I graduated Fulton, I think it was 2/3 black. So I was used to, and the weirdest thing, it never had one problem. Never got called cracker, honky, Johnny Whitebread, any of that shit.
I used to get the shit beat out of me every day
down
in Atlanta. I did. I mean,
really?
it was just, but it turned into my mom set me down and said, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody sat out on the porch. They watched me get my ass beat.
Yeah.
You know, when I was young, 7, 8, 9, you know, go cry, Mama, Billy. I'll never forget Billy. Billy beat me up. She said, you better get back down there. You know, it was a different time.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's going to pull a gun on you or anything like that. You better get back down there and fight him back.
Oh, yeah.
Or else you're going to get it from me.
Yeah.
It's funny what you remember. I was like Ralphie.
Yeah.
I flipped a switch.
Yeah.
You know, and Phil Florin Filth. I mean, I beat the fire out of him.
Yeah.
And his sister Teresa yanked my belt off and started beating me with it.
Oh my God.
That's the truth.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
get off of Billy. And I remember
That's amazing.
my mom, I was like, yeah, I did it. And she said, now go get your damn belt from Teresa. So
I don't want to do that.
Well,
She's scary. She's scarier than Billy. She's scarier than Billy.
I had to go do that. And I remembered knocking on the screen door.
Yeah.
You know, and it just having that sound. And his dad's name was Jack. And here he was sitting there, hot, humid Atlanta, you know, sitting there on the couch. He said, come in. And I remember him drinking his beer. And he said, you just beat Billy's ass. I said, I sure did. He said, it's about time. He said, Tracy, get in here and give this boy his belt back.
Oh, my God.
I turned around and left. I was like, wow. But, I mean, that day, it's almost like a movie.
Oh, yeah.
That day, I earned my stripes.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody messed with me anymore.
We would get in fights in the Kroger parking lot after school because it was off-school grounds. And fight, and then go back and to football practice.
Yeah.
There were two guys. I still remember there was one guy, Chad and Tater, were fighting. Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, Tater. And Chad is on top of Tater, and he's just beating the shit out of his face. And it hit a point to where I looked at my watch, and I just went over and scooped up Chad and picked him up. I was like, dude, it's time for football practice.
Yeah, we got to go.
We got to go. He had broken bones in his hand on Tater's face. And same thing. Tater got up, and we all went to football practice together. Now, the two of them did not practice because, like, Tater's face was a swollen mess. But, yeah, we would fight, and then we would be fine. Like, it was – but also – my class was either 103 or 108. We had our 20-year reunion, and we figured out 2/3 are dead, in jail, or have done time.
That's the way it was in Atlanta. Honestly,
Yeah.
I've got one friend down there that I keep in touch with. Everybody else that I ran around with, they're sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly is.
So same thing. I go up to Fulton and talk to those kids every once in a while, and I'll put on pants, which is an oddity for me. And, a nice shirt, and I'll talk to them. I was like, before you think that I'm some rich white kid, I've walked
this walk.
This is where I'm from.
Yeah.
I was like, and I've gotten into fights in the hallways here. Mm-hmm. I've put people almost through lockers. I've bent a locker in half, putting somebody through a locker. I was like, this is where I'm from. And it was I got to tell you what, I'm a lot tougher than every single one of you in here, because when I went up here, no, it was a whole nother thing. The first day in class, there's a kid I grew up with, Chucky. I don't know.
Chucky Jones?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if he's dead or in prison, or I don't know where Chucky's at. Chucky's probably not listening to this. I think Chucky is either dead or in prison. But he was the tough guy in middle school. And it was our first day. It's half day. We're sitting in science class, and there's a sophomore that's sitting in front of us, and Chucky and I are sitting there. And the guy turns around and starts getting onto Chucky. And I was like, almost like, you going to take this, man? And then he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a gun.
Oh.
This is my first day in school.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around like, what's going on here? What the what the?
When did we start bringing guns?
Yeah, this things escalated quickly. It's like, and Chucky was scared because Chucky was selling drugs for the guy, and Chucky owed the dude money.
Yeah.
And I was just, and the dude was a small guy, and Chucky was a big dude. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, the third floor girls' bathroom smelled like weed my entire 4 years. Like
those girls.
Yeah, one girl came in the homeroom, blew it in my face halfway through the football season. Weed smoke. I was like, we get randomly drug tested. I will never hit a woman, but I will be very angry at you if I test positive because you're an idiot.
You did this.
Yeah, it was her. It was her. That person also, I saw her in a bar at 8 months pregnant. So that shows you a little bit of
life choices.
Yeah. Okay, so you're at the place at Central and Merchants, or you wanted to transfer to Lonsdale.
Yeah.
And they gave you a little bit of grief for wanting to transfer to Lonsdale?
Not really, but they were like, are you
surprised.
sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I loved it. I mean,
at what point in this process did you become, you called it something other than the union, the association?
Yeah, I call it the association.
Okay.
Because, and I've got nothing against the union, not whatsoever. But in Tennessee, we're a right to work state.
Okay.
I believe in a lot of the things that we do. Absolutely. The union, Teamsters, we're AFL-CIO. But I also believe in fairness.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not looking for a one-way ticket, one way, you know, and that's what I think is with us in the administration, in the fire department, and the administration of the city. They know that we're not we want.
Yeah.
It's we do want, and I'm going to show you why we want this.
Yeah.
And why we're asking for this. And, you know, they might come back with, well, we appreciate that, and we're going to show you why we cannot do it.
Yeah.
It's when they say, no.
Yeah.
Well, explain it to me, because I'm finding you money. Explain to me why it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a good report. Now, that's not to say everything goes swimmingly.
Yeah. With the changeover of the upper, you know, when you go from Haslam to Rojero, now Rojero to somebody else, is that kind of like a growing pain? Like, it's a weird thing. Like, I hate to call him Kane, but Kane came in and immediately cut jobs at Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And there's part of me, because I've worked at corporate places, I'm like, can you see what they're doing before you just cut jobs?
Yeah.
Like, because that makes me nervous. And there's been corporations I've worked at to where, well, hell, the job that I got laid off of, they came in and immediately, the minute the paperwork through, they're like, oh, y'all are gone. We don't need you. And then a month later, they came back and they said, holy crap, you do a lot more than we thought, so we're going to keep you another month. Yeah. I was like, that's why you wait. That's why you wait. Like, if you want to lay off those people, if you think it's a budget thing, that's fine. Yeah, like, I think he wasn't in office a day before he laid off people. Yeah. I was like, that's...
It's a little, can you show us? I mean, they don't have to, I don't guess, but show us why you've made that decision.
Yeah.
You know, and
show this how laying them off is going to help.
Yeah.
You know, not even that it's an overage. Show us, okay, you're going to take that money and put it to the fire department, the police department. No? Okay.
See, that's something, you know, being in the fire department almost 23 years now, and you move up through the ranks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I was still that guy on the back, because all I got to do is pull the hose, go in, and fight fire and help people. You know, my captain, Lloyd Strong, who used to be our association president, you know, we were talking about that. I'm coming up, I believe it's on 10 years of doing that. And he, unfortunately, he died of cancer. Oh. You know, a lot of our guys are dying of cancer just because of the nature of what we do. Yeah. And I want to help those guys. Yeah. You know, better equipment. And we're doing much better as far as taking care of ourselves, I know it sounds crazy, washing our gear like we should, because it's a badge of courage. It's a badge of honor if your helmet's all blacked out and melting. Yeah. You know, but there's so many carcinogens in that helmet, you know. So we're getting much better at that, you know, now helping. But you know, some of that stuff that I've learned is that Lloyd talked about was, because I used to kid him all the time. I said, look, you just sit over there and blow the woo-woo, and I'll drive us there, and
Oh,
we
my
know what
God.
we're doing, which I respected him.
Yeah.
I did. I was just cutting up with him. And he said, "Hey, big boy," he said, "when you become a captain," he said, "you'll get it."
Yeah.
I'll never forget my first fire in Lonsdale.
Yeah.
We're heading down Tennessee Avenue, screaming the sirens, and I'm thinking, I got to get this guy beside me home to his family.
Yeah.
And the guy in the back. I'm responsible for these guys.
Yeah.
And it hit me.
Yeah.
And I got out of the truck, and I couldn't get out because my seatbelt was wrapped around my freaking leg and
Oh,
all
my
kinds
God.
of, so that was my very first fire as a captain.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the guy who took my place when I got promoted, I told him the same thing Lloyd told me.
Yeah.
His very first fire, he couldn't get out of the front seat either. His air pack got hung up.
Oh, my God.
So he said, "You're right. Now as a chief, as an assistant chief, I'm over a district, which is about 4 or 5
Okay.
different fire stations. So now I'm responsible for all of them." And it hits you when
Yeah.
you go in and you have an incident and you want to be able to get them home safe,
Yeah.
And used to when I was younger, I didn't poke my chest out and say, "By God, I'm a fireman."
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that, but in the back of my mind, I was like, "Man, I'm a fireman. I'll be all right."
Yeah.
Little did I know, there's been instances where I was, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
And I have prayed. I ain't gonna lie, I've prayed in the middle of a house that's
Yeah.
burning up around me. I'm not ashamed to say it. And, thank God it.
Yeah.
I made it. So yeah, it's
Is it, because I'm sure you've seen, because you all also do like if somebody has a heart attack.
first responder.
First responder. So people do that. You all do that too.
We do what I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
What I found out, what I was leading to, what I
Yeah.
found out as I've escalated my career, we are a catch-all.
Okay.
If you call 911 and they don't know what to do with it, we get it.
Okay.
Honestly, and that's not a dig at dispatch or anything like that. We get it. Had a guy last day I worked. He called 911, said, "I need one of you guys, one of the fire department, come over here and help me get my car off the curb so I can get out of here."
Yeah.
And they called me and said, "Who do you want to send?" And I said, "Is he hurt?" And they said, "No." And I said, I'll go see what's going on. Well, I had a feeling he'd been drinking. Drinking. And he was.
He's still in the car.
Oh, yeah. Well, I asked him to get out, and he cussed me out real good. And I said, "Well, get out of the car."
Jeez.
And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Because it's damn cold." And I said, I said, "You got a point." I said, "So
Oh,
just
my
go ahead
God.
and stay in the car."
Oh,
But,
my God.
Again, it's some of that stuff is some of it's comical. Some of it you can't figure out. Some of it's tragic. Some of
Yeah.
it's and I'll be the first to tell you, so many years that I've done this, I've went and talked to people, counselors, let some of this stuff decompress. And I think that's one good thing. That's another good thing that the city's doing, the EAP, is, I'm a fairly bigger guy. When I say this, I'm not trying to sound conceited by any means, but I've paid my dues, so to
Right.
speak. People know that I work. People know that I've done it, not
Yeah.
just talked about it. And when they see me, and I tell them, I went and talked to so-and-so about
Oh,
this, because don't let it build up. Don't let it ruin your family.
And don't let the stigma or
Yes.
something prevent you from
Yeah,
doing it.
do it. I did it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think it helps, honestly.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit that, I've had problems that I couldn't deal with myself. I'd say, "Hey, help me out." "Well, I didn't know that." "Well, here we go. Thank you. Appreciate it." Sometimes it's just talking to somebody.
That's the path I was kind of going down, because being on that business advisory thing for the city, we went to, what is it, the engineering building off of Middlebrook, that big, nice building.
Yeah.
And they have a section in there that is health and wellness, but they also said there's one that's a counseling.
Yeah.
That they said police officers and firefighters go there. But that was something, when we saw it, I was like, I would have never thought about it like here. Like, it's very interesting. But I know there's like a lot of doctors. One of my best friends is a nurse, and she talks about doctors' bedside manners. And she was like, no, they just have to zone out because they see so many bad things that if they let every single one of them affect them, they would curl up in a ball and die.
Yeah, it's certainly not being rude. You know, my wife's got on to me before and saying, hey, you're not at work.
Yeah.
You know, but it's, you know, it brings me back a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, nurses, you know, cops, firemen, you know, any job, honestly, that's got stress to it. You know, it's something. But I do want to say a shout out to Christine Fitzgerald. She's I don't know if you know Christine.
Oh, yeah.
She's our risk benefits and benefits coordinator.
Yeah.
She is really, really went above and beyond to help people in this. And you know, she's good to work with, you know, as far as, and that's why I talk about some of the administration, you know.
Yeah.
Being an association guy, I get to meet with these people and explain our side of it, and we've done real well. We really have, getting people help and just talking, you know, and it's
I think, Mayor,
it's huge.
this is, God, Dad may not want me to say this, but when Haslam was running against Rohero, Dad and I were talking one time, and he said, I don't think it'd be a bad thing if Haslam got in there, because I think he would help develop business here. And then when he's done, Madeline can take over, and she will help build community. And he said, I don't think that's a bad thing. He's like, you almost have to have the business before you can build the community.
I see his way of thinking.
And
I see that.
Since she has been in there, I've seen a lot of the things she's done that have been really, like putting Patricia in there as a business advisory person, to where she goes from the breweries to big businesses, and she goes and she is just like, I am there as like a liaison from the city to figure out what everyone is doing.
Yeah.
So I can help.
Mm-hmm.
So I can figure out ways to help. Like, I ended up talking to her one time. I was like, they're in between Mass General and Chivo, however, there's that empty lot, and there's about to be a building put in there.
Yeah, I saw a kid throw a deck on a newspaper stand over it the other day.
Really?
Cruising. I mean, he was probably about 10 years old. I don't know. I mean, his dad beat the hell out of him.
Oh, my God.
Because my wife said, did you just see that? Then I see his kid's arm, and then I see Dad.
Whap, whap, whap.
Well, I was impressed with Dad. Good job.
Yeah. I'm also a little impressed with the kid that he can flip it over.
It was like one of those little metal stands.
okay.
It wasn't the big
Damn
one.
it. Okay. In my mind, it's one of those big, heavy Metropole stands.
No, it's one of those shopper-looking stands.
But I was talking to her. I said, I want to talk to whoever that developer is, because I think one thing that's holding downtown back a little bit, I said, I think there needs to be an anchor grocery store in there. And I think it needs to be, it doesn't need to be, it can't be a food city.
Yeah,
it has to be a little bit better quality, because you have people moving from like Boston or New York that they don't want to go to Food City.
Yeah.
I was like, it should be like a Publix. And Publix has done really good at University Commons or a Trader Joe's or something like that, to where, and as like, and we can make it to where I would like to introduce them to the farmers market people, to where maybe we can get some local,
Start selling some
local integration, all that. And she was like, okay, let me figure out how to make that happen. Because she was like, that is a good idea. I was like, I don't want to make a penny off of this.
Yeah,
I just want to see my downtown do better.
Yeah.
Because when I go like some other big city, Denver or Boston, and they have a big anchor grocery, I was like, people and the mayor and Patricia, well, you can just get on the trolley. People don't want to get on the trolley.
No, they don't. They don't. They want to walk down the nice sidewalk, past the Riviera and the Tennessee Theater, and just pop in and get their tofu or whatever they're getting that night. You know, steaks, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and
but for me, I'm also like, on the flip side, I'm like, because I also see a business opportunity there of figuring out an app development to where you can order your groceries and somebody will go pick it up and drop it out. Because I was like, that's another thing. I think there's an opportunity there, a business opportunity.
There absolutely
of
is.
runners for grocery, to where you just work with the grocery store. You get them to grab everything like Walmart and Kroger and all them do, and you just pick it up and go, and you make a little bit of money.
Not only that, I mean, some of the hotels there.
Yeah.
You know, Cook Loft, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, people that are staying, oh, gosh, we don't want to leave downtown and run to Ingalls or somewhere like you say.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, man, we can order this. They can
They just drop it off.
Handsome Cabas down here or something. Yeah.
I'm still in that. No, that's my idea. Trademark. Nobody else can develop. But anyway, it's stuff like that. I see a lot of things that Mayor O'Hara's doing that I like. Like there's a lot of this Maker City. Like I just went to an opening the other day, Bird on a Wire Studio. It's a guy who does metalworking.
I stopped in there the other day.
Derek is an awesome guy.
I inadvertently went down there. Our anniversary, my wife's anniversary. Yeah. He helped me out.
Oh, he's a great guy.
I just happened to stop in and I asked him. I wanted a little round metal thing with our initial and all our names on it. And he said, "Man, I could do that." He said, "But it'd be $300."
Yeah.
He said, You don't need that." And he sent me somewhere else. I said, "How long's this place been here?" He said, "Oh, we've started. We do some local jobs and big things." Because I was going to ask him about some wrought iron fencing for our union hall because unfortunately, and I don't know how to solve this either. And again, this isn't being political, but the homeless, when they clear all that out, they come to our union hall because there's bushes. They get behind, they unscrew our light bulbs and sit in the dark. And I hate it, but when I start finding needles everywhere, I have problems with that.
Yeah.
So when I talked to the mayor about it, I said, now I'm going to have to buy a $20,000 wrought iron fence to put around our business to keep the homeless people out.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's, is what it is, I guess. It's, you can't solve it.
Yeah, but getting behind people like that who are doing unique things, because he's talking about, he's from like Birmingham. Yeah. He's like, you don't have the city behind you like this in Birmingham. He's like, and it was a little bit of like a facade grant that they get, I think, through the state.
I did see that. Yeah, and we applied for it. We didn't get it. But anyway.
But it was one of those weird things where he was like, I put up, we got a facade grant, we got X amount. And he was like, and I matched it. Like I did the most. And we worked on it and we did it. And it happened, and that's it. Like, it's here now.
It's good. I mean, like I said, I loved his studio.
Yeah.
I really did. That little play, it was just him and three. He had some groovy music going, too, man. He was really getting after it.
The metal thing he has of Kaz Walker, I'm going to tell him, it's like, one of these days I'm going to just take that, man. I'm sorry. I can run pretty fast.
Yeah. And, those guys that work in that field, it's amazing. I shook his hand. It was like a daggone vice.
Oh, yeah.
You could really, not sound corny. That's a man's hand right there.
I may have to introduce you. He'll be on the podcast. A friend of mine, John, that he helped out Derek a lot. He's a metal worker, but he makes high-end knives for like restaurant chefs and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But he makes them out of like old saw blades. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because I went and visited his shop. It's just in the back of his garage in Western Heights. And I went up there and I was talking to him about it. And he was just like, yeah, and see this piece of equipment over here? This is some kind of press. And he was like, this piece of equipment is right at about $65,000. He said, no. He said, I built this. He's like, I've got about $7,500 into this.
Wow.
And I was like, build this for somebody else and sell it for $35,000. I was like, good God,
no
man.
Kidding. I mean, there you go.
But it's some of those guys. It's the same thing with like the plumbers and the electricians. Some of those guys who do that metalwork stuff, I was like, this is like genius on a level that I don't even know how to comprehend it. For him to take like an old saw blade and turn it into this knife that some like big hoity-toity chef will use and pay him like $1,200 for.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my. But then I watch him and he tells me about his work process. I was like, you've got like 30 hours in that one knife.
See, my wife gets mad at me because I watch that Forged in Fire.
Oh, yeah.
She says it's the same thing, Kevin. They make a knife.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's kind of soothing, you know?
Yeah. It's your version of my grandfather's golf and NASCAR.
Yeah. No big deal. That and Impractical Jokers. That's all we watch.
I get down rabbit holes at night on YouTube. I'll need to go to bed and then Impractical, and I'll just sit there and watch all of them.
My son loves them.
There's a recent one where Q lost and they made him go into a pen at a zoo. Did you see that?
Yeah, Pepe. Pepe the llama or
was
some
peeing
camel.
on him and everything. And then at the end, he had been in there like 12 or 14 hours. And then he was like, I got to get out of here. And they're like, we never locked the gate. He's like, son of a He's like, I could last 5 minutes after.
You know, he used to be a fireman.
Yeah.
That's something. And he worked downtown in a busy hall. He really did.
I'm trying to remember. I think he signed up right after 9/11 or he was there on 9/11. One of the two.
Yeah. I can't remember. I've seen a little bit about it.
But I know him. Do you know who Kevin Smith is?
Yeah.
Silent Bob?
Yeah.
So he's on one of their podcasts. Like he was like a PA or something, a production assistant or something for them back in the day. And then I think he joined the fire hall after 9/11 because I think when 9/11 happened, he was like, nope, I'm not going to be a PA anymore. I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
But it was just, I knew about him through there. And I had heard him on like the podcast and stuff. And then when I saw him on, I finally started watching Practical Jokers like 6 months ago.
You put a face with a name.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh my God, that's the dude. Oh my God, this is hilarious. He's a firefighter?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, that's something, I thought we'd talk about too is Chicago fire. Don't get me wrong. I'm a handsome devil.
Oh my God.
But it's not what people.
Their makeup's perfect.
Yeah, it's not. That's when you walk into a fire, you don't see everything.
Yeah.
Not everything explodes.
Backdraft.
Yes, I mean it's people are asking, you watch Chicago Fire? No, never seen it in my life.
No.
Why not? I just I don't want to ruin my career.
Yeah. I don't have time to apply the eyeliner.
Yeah,
I'm going on a call.
It's not who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you get hit up for that? Like
I get
people
asked
think
that
it's
a lot.
glamorous or
Yeah. And when we show them, we have people stop by, and I encourage people who are listening to this, feel free, stop by a fire station.
Yeah.
See what we do. Talk to them. It's a city property. You're more than welcome to come out and visit with us. But we have chores that we do. It's just like being at home. We're there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see our schedule because honestly, we work between 10 and 12 days a month, 24-hour shifts. And then I get this, God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Wish I could work 10 days a month. They always want to go with a lesser number.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But what happens is sometimes I'm gone for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
I'm not scheduled to work.
Yeah.
But I have to work.
Yeah.
So now I'm gone for 3 days in a row. Well, I don't think I'd like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Because
the reality of it.
it's not like in the middle of a call you're like, wait, I hit my 24 hours. I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I gotta go. They this is maybe so when you're on. Is it almost like you can't drink, you can't do anything?
Oh, no, we drink all the – no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Do you have to almost clear your head 24 hours beforehand and be like, okay, I need to not do anything so I'm not lagging?
Yeah, we do have rules, in place. You're not supposed to be intoxicated, before a shift, If I smell it on you or if the captain smells it on you, you're not working. You're going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes full moons, I don't care what anybody says, that's true.
Yeah.
Nurses, firemen, policemen, we know this. It gets crazy. I don't know what goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't just get up and go, well, it's another day at work,
Yeah.
I look forward to it, and sometimes you do have to mentally prepare yourself, Right now, overdoses are huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
And we, being firefighters, we're not rocket scientists, but we can figure things out.
Yeah.
Is if we have yesterday we had probably 6.
Wow.
Before 4 o'clock. So that tells me there's a bad batch in town.
Yeah.
And by a bad batch, maybe they're cutting it a little harder with something.
Yeah.
And they're not used to that dose.
Yeah.
Because it's honestly some of the same people.
Yeah.
We give them the Narcan, get them back. Next week, they're not doing as much because it might be a little less, so they got to do a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week, they get a new batch in. Oh, God, last week I did this many. This week I can do this. Oh, God, this is stronger.
Yeah.
We're dead. We're back,
Yeah.
But it is. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know. We can educate them, But then again, you gotta want to have the people to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I don't want to sound callous when I say this, but when they know that we can get them back for the most part, they gotta keep doing it. And they're getting more brazen and brazen. Bathrooms at restaurants, bathrooms at Walmarts, Walgreens, things like that. You know, businesses, tire shop. I know we had one guy get new tires. He shot up, and there he is, just laying there.
Jeez.
So,
yeah, we had an incident up here at the edge of at the corner where somebody was renting out a place, Airbnb, and we found out. This is how I found this out. There are groups of people who will rent an Airbnb for like 6 days, and they're selling meth, they're selling guns, they're selling whatever.
I had no idea about this.
And so my little sister is over here. We were watching a movie and baking cookies because I'm a man.
That's what you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong with that?
Yeah. But her best friend lives up on the corner, and she went to see him before she went home. And as she pulled up, there were all these cop cars around. And she was like, it was weird cop cars, like a 2003 Ford Taurus.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that, like unmarked as hell. And she said they had 4 people sitting on the curb. Or I think she said, 4 people sitting on the curb in handcuffs. So she's sitting there and she's updating me. She's like, oh, here comes a 5th one. Oh, here comes a 6th one. And she said that they had sent somebody undercover to buy drugs. They opened the door and there were like guns sitting everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's just right up here.
It's everywhere.
Like, it's crazy. But the brazenness of, we're going to do an Airbnb and we're just going to.
It's becoming the norm.
Yeah.
And that's what's so sad. It's normal.
Yeah.
I don't know when it became normal.
Yeah.
But you know, that's why I have to tell my son, that guy's overdosed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are we gonna eat? You know.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Here's one. If you don't want to talk about this,
Sure.
that's fine. The weed thing now, because a lot of these problems with like opioids and addictions and stuff, there's a lot of people like. Because I'm curious on the back end of like CBD oil becoming a thing now to treat ailments. Do you think we'll ever get to a point, or are you all at a point to where you all have looked at like investigated CBD oil to fix back problems, elbow problems? Do you know much about?
No, I know a little bit about it.
Okay.
I know the weed thing as a firefighter. You know, we probably won't be smoking weed.
No, not that. But it's like almost like to counteract.
Oh yeah,
all
the
these
CBD.
This is even a bigger thing. Like the weed thing counteracting like some of the opioid thing, because you all are first responders. Like, well, if we legalize, then maybe we'll have less overdoses and less problems with that.
No, I see like Jeremy Faison, and again, I'm not trying to get political. He's trying to pass, the cannabis oil and stuff like that. I agree. I mean, I don't see, and this is just my own personal opinion. I probably get hit for it, but honestly, I don't know enough about it. But I have seen people who have had results, saying, "Hey, look, my ailments. I'm not high."
Yeah.
I've got a friend right now who's got devastating arthritis.
Yeah.
She's younger than I am. I mean, she is just rheumatoid arthritis. Her fingers get as big as freaking tennis racket handles, and she's miserable.
Yeah.
And she's been using that CBD oil and stuff like that. And she said, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
My rings are fitting. I've had no aches and pains. Well, she's not doing it recreationally.
No.
She's doing it to help her function, to be a productive citizen in society. So do I see that happen? I wish they would. Why won't they try it?
But I was wondering, is that something that like the city or the fire department, for you all, for the association, you have to get together and almost like lobby for that? Or like, that's what I'm curious about, because it does have those ties, it has those stigma, which we're in 2018 and it's like, there's bigger fish to fry at this point.
No, I mean, as far as our association, we've sat and had different meetings about how do we curtail it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They talk about treatment facilities, things like that.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, you have to be in those treatment facilities for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But the downside of it is, and I'm not trying to throw Lonsdale under the bus, but if you come from an area that's just crappy and there's dope around you every second that you're awake, and then you go get clean, and then you come back, it's defeated the purpose.
Yeah.
I don't have that answer.
Yeah.
I really don't. But I mean, yes, I think that would be. I've never in my life, and I don't want to talk about weed. I've never in my life seen anybody on marijuana fight.
No,
in my life.
No.
So, and I'm not saying get in a car and go drive somewhere.
No.
But
I think that's been a weird thing with the police. They're like, we got to figure out a way to test for it because somebody can get too high. and does not need to be behind the wheel of a car.
Absolutely.
But we can't test for it. I was like, that's understandable.
The only way is if you open the car door, Chris Farley style, or Cheech and Chong, and
God.
He's a big cloud coming out at you. I don't know what that answer is. I know it's sad. It really is sad that people have to get on that, and I can't say I know what it's like. I dipped. I know that has nothing to do with heroin or anything.
No, but it's still an addictive.
Well, I dipped for years.
Yeah.
And my son, he shamed me into quitting. I mean, he absolutely, when he was 4, he told me I wasn't very good at keeping my promises.
Oh, wow.
And turned around and walked off. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about, but come back here. I said, I've never lied to you.
Yeah.
And he told me that, and he made me feel horrible.
Yeah.
I quit right then.
Good.
I mean,
yeah.
And he tells people that I made Dad quit. I made him feel like crap. Thanks, son.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, and I don't want him dabbling in that stuff. And I have family members, who are addicted to that stuff, and it sucks, But I don't. Hey, man, how do we help you? Most of my family that are on it, they don't want help.
No.
So that's the other problem.
Yeah.
If you truly want help, I've seen people lose every bit of their stuff, and they say, "Well, I'm trying to quit." I don't know that their heart's in it.
Yeah. You almost got what was that show that used to be on PBS in the 80s where the hardened prison dudes went into the juvenile facilities and would just yell at those kids.
Oh, scared straight.
Yeah, scared straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, the CBD oil, because I know a guy that they're developing out a CBD oil business over on Central.
Mm-hmm.
And I've started reading more about it and learning more about it, and it's like it has nothing to do with any of the psychotropic effects of weed. And even Joe Rogan recently was talking about it, and Ted Nugent is notorious. He's like, never done a drug, never drank, any of that. And Joe finally talked him into doing CBD oil on like his shoulder or something. He's like, it helped a lot. And he's like, yeah, welcome to my world, man. He was like, that's all it took.
Yeah.
He's like, that's all it took. And I don't know. I also think it's,
I
as
think
one of my buddies put it, a lot of old people are going to need to die before we can, get over the hump.
And that's what's so sad is statistics. You know, you got to build statistics before you can call it a problem. Now we need to fix it. But another thing, heck, the revenuers, they got to get their hands on it too.
Oh, I ended up on a porch with a dude who works for Philip Morris. And I was talking to him. I was like, are you worried about, if weed becomes legal? He's like, no. All we have to do is change a few gears in the equipment. I was like, that's right. You're a big corporation. Of course you're going to make money. He's like, oh, we're ready to start mass producing.
Oh, yeah.
I've said it for 10 years. I was like, I don't understand where like the state of Tennessee, Kentucky, and North Carolina aren't pushing for weed, even if you're sending it out, because these are tobacco country. And you could make so much money that would help a lot of the state's ailments if you just get over the social but I don't know.
I met some people at Dollywood on the tram.
Yeah.
It's amazing what kind of people you meet from Kentucky. And it was, I don't know, somebody climbed on the tram or something was, this is tight. And the guy said, man, have you tried CBD oil?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he said, we're growing it up in Kentucky. Look here. And we're drying it and getting the oil.
Yeah.
And he was showing everybody pictures. He said, He said, we're working with the state, to see.
Yeah.
I said, wow. He said, we got about 30 acres that we can.
Yeah. That's becoming a thing. Yeah. And everybody's going to get their cut.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to make the state a lot of money.
Yeah.
That will hopefully go into fire department.
Hey, I got a question about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe somebody can answer it. That gas tax, aren't they supposed to be fixing roads? Because I know at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm going to work, down 640,
you see my road out front?
When's this going to happen?
This has been tore up like this for 4 weeks. I'm about to send KUB in the city a bill for when I get my alignment fixed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can feel my car listing to the right. And I was like, that's totally all this crap that they've done. I don't know. Yeah, that same thing. What was it? The license plate tax there years ago. Wheel tax. Mm-hmm. Yes. And that was supposed to go in towards roads. I don't know. Also, a lot of it, like 10 years ago, was like, well, we need to make the city more walkable. We need more sidewalks. It's like, yeah, we do.
I wish people would use them. I find them walking in the street mostly.
Yeah. Oh, I've almost gotten in the car over here on Emerald because people park in the street. Mm-hmm. And even though I have a tiny car, they park in the street, and there's a couple older dudes who walk in the middle of the street. And there was one time where a guy started yelling a little bit, and I almost rolled down the window and said, "You're lucky I got to be somewhere," because there would be a problem. Because I would pick you up and put you on the sidewalk.
But I had no idea that was your car. I thought your backpack was just in the back.
Oh, my God.
I had no idea. You and Kane drag race? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
You and Mayor Jacobs?
I went on a date last night, and the girl drank a little bit, and I was driving her home.
Did you strap her to the roof?
No.
Oh, okay.
When I was walking back car, she's 5'11", and I was just like, when we started walking my car, it's like, you're going to laugh at what I drive. And she's like, what do you drive? And I was like, you're going to see it in about half a second. She saw, I was like, oh, I had a Yaris. I was like, okay, cool. You're fine with it. I still look like Grape Ape in this thing.
Oh, it's
I was like,
stuff.
also she's 28. I was like, oh, yeah, you don't get who Grape Ape is. Never mind. Like,
it'd been funny if she said Beagly Beagly.
Oh, my God. Okay, so you're this far in. You've already said this is where you're probably the place on Merchants is probably where you'll end.
Probably.
Do you know what's next after? No,
I don't. You mean after I retire?
Yeah. Because
Well,
you'll still be
I've still
young.
got at least. Yeah, I mean I'm 45, and I know I've got to work. Firefighting is a young man's game.
Yeah.
I used to be the guy who said, "Man, I'll do this. Look at me. I can do this."
Yeah.
It will break you. It will wear you down. It just does. I mean, it mentally, emotionally, physically, it just does. Well, no, I don't. Maybe I can carry heavy things for you if you need it. I don't know.
Well, my buddy Adeem has tried to talk me into he and I doing a moving company. And Adeem, God love you.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
My friends call me to move them.
Oh, yeah.
No.
All the time I get hit up. But we helped a friend of mine's mom and her husband move some stuff from their house to a storage facility. And Adeem came and helped me because he's also self-employed. And he's a smaller guy. And he was just like, man, that was pretty good. And we earned a decent amount. Because we got like $100 for 3 hours worth of work. I was like, they're not all going to be that easy, dude.
No.
Because he was like, we need to seriously consider. It's like, where are we going to get the truck? We're going to have to rent trucks. They're not all going to be that nice. And also, I was with a friend of mine where they had to hire a rental company to move like a 19-20 grand piano. And the moving company,
we don't have enough insurance for that.
the moving company, the 7 guys that showed up, they brought 7 guys because they had to take it apart, carefully wrap it, and then they had to lift it up because it's heavy as hell. And they did all that. And I was like, I don't want to know insurance.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what the insurance was on that. They were also driving a giant, not full-on 18-wheeler, but one of those big, giant goof-on trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Through Sequoia Hills. and backed it up a driveway. And I was just like, I don't know how you guys are doing this. Like, this is insane. But yeah, moving. Yeah, Dean keeps pushing me that we need to open.
Why do people? I've had somebody ask me that, and my buddy, he's like, man, we could, the 2 men in a truck. He said, you're like half Puerto Rican.
Oh my
and I was
God.
like, yeah. And he's like, we can get 2 men, a Puerto Rican, in a stolen truck, and that could be our our logo, and we can go move people. And I was like, well, number one, I'm not moving anybody.
Yeah.
I don't even like moving myself. I made that clear early on in life. I've told my friends, don't call me.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, seriously, Saturday. And I'm like, no, I mean this.
Yeah.
I'm not helping.
Yeah.
I don't ask you to help me move. That's the thing we got going. No, I hate it because my buddy Whitey, John Whiteside, he broke me of it. Man, come down here, Atlanta. I'm moving to Tampa. Yeah. You help me? Yeah. I'm all packed. All we got to do is get the truck, just load it on the truck, and go to Tampa. That's it. Okay, cool. Get down there. Nothing has been.
Of course not.
Nothing.
Of course
he ain't
not.
even got a truck.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that was horrible. So that broke me right then.
Well, unfortunately for me, my dad and uncles used to help people move all the time when I was a kid. And, of course, they had to build character in me. So, and it was
I wouldn't even ask my son to help. So there, we're good.
It was like every other weekend we would go help people move. And this is something I have ran this by female friends. I was like, I'm sure this is not proper in 2018, but they would always be like, because it would always be a boyfriend or girlfriend or a husband or wife. And they'd be like, okay, wife, we're going to put you a chair right by the front door. You're not going to lift anything. When we walk up, you're going to say that goes in the kitchen, that goes in the living room, that just so they can get it done efficiently.
Yeah.
And I ran that by my mom, and she was like, I don't need no man to tell me. And I was like, okay. Then you're going to be on the front end of the grand piano. And all of us guys are going to walk away.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with you being a female. Yeah,
no, this has and my dad joked, and he's like, this is because you run this house.
That's what I'm saying. This is the most important job here.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah, we need you to, because if we ask the husband, he's going to be like, I don't know, ask her.
Everything goes in that room.
We're all dumb. Like, yeah, no, we're telling you you're smart. Like, well, that's like when I was in college, I held the door open because I was raised to hold the door open for people.
Still do it.
Guy walked through, and a girl walked up, and she started yelling at me. I don't need no man to hold the door. She started screaming at me, and I was nice. Thank God for her. And she walked on through as she was yelling at me. The Jody of now would have slammed the door in her face or would have put a finger in her face and said, okay, if a man said that to me, I'd punch him in the face. Like,
I've been yelled at too. I don't know. I don't get it. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am,
like,
I'm 50. Okay, I say that to,
a 22-year-old.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. That's a weird thing. Well, and I had that talk on the Fatherhood podcast with Ben Slocum and Russ Torwood about what it's like to be a man in 2018. And I'll still use that term of like, we need to be a man. And I've had some people slap me for that one, verbally slap me for that. I was like, I'm not saying you're less good.
Yeah,
it's a generational thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a generational thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it has nothing to do with anything. It's holding the door open for people. Mm-hmm. It's having respect. I was like, I'm not saying you can't do that.
I opened the door for my wife. I didn't used to. And I don't mean that bad, but I found that it's good. I mean, it's respect for her.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot, honestly, since I've been married. Marriage is work. It is. And I don't mean that bad. I mean, it's biting your tongue, and because I was single for 39 years.
Yeah.
So I did things my way. I don't care. When she moved into my house at the time, I said, man, you've really lucked up. She said, why is that? And I said, not because of me. I said, but I've had this house since I was like 26,
Yeah.
And some days I wouldn't go out because I had to make that mortgage payment.
Yeah.
I've paid every dime of equity in this thing. You've paid nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And now we're moving.
Oh my God.
And she said, well, thank you.
Yeah.
know, so.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't put up anything. I didn't do we did work on the house when I moved in, but like I didn't hang up art or anything for like 10 years because all my female friends were like, well, if you get a girlfriend or get married, she's going to want to redo everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you don't. And I was like, okay, but I'm a designer and I understand color. And like the color in my office is a cool color. And,
it is.
All this. And they're like, oh, no, none of that matters. You don't know as much. I was like, I've been studying color theory for 20-something years. Like, no, doesn't matter. I was like, okay. And I listened to him, and then finally, at like 10 years, I was like, I'm going to put up a photo because I feel like an asshole for having blank walls for so long.
I love that.
That's from Saul Young from the New Sentinel, if you've ever
I know
met him.
Saul.
Yeah, that's Saul's piece.
Well, I like it.
Yeah.
Best place in town to take a leak.
Yeah.
That's
my
good
God.
stuff.
But yeah, forever, I just had that piece hanging up there and didn't have anything else.
I wonder if those guys still work there.
That both of those guys do on the ends because I've driven by there and seen them.
I think the guy on the left looks familiar. I think I've spoke with him before.
There's a friend of mine that she pulled into there and said before she even had her window rolled down, they already had her jacked up.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Not against the wall, just up.
No, just her car jacked up, and she was like, "Oh, well, should I pick out the?" They were like, "No. What do you need?"
I believe the gentleman on the left there. We, our association, we call and solicit for donations for tickets. We do concerts twice a year.
Yeah.
That gentleman right there called me since I'm the president and asked me to come down there and speak with him. He believed there was a guy that used to work with us, that since had quit and tried to hoodoo him, said he was going to sell some tickets. I'll come by and pick up $100 from you. He said, that guy, I think he hornswoggled me, and I wanted you to know. I said, absolutely. I'll see if I can find him. He no longer works with us. And he said, well, he's supposed to come down here. He said, tell me if he's one of your guys. Not a firefighter.
Yeah.
Just somebody that it's a call,
Yeah.
call center. And happened to see him. I said, yeah, man, that's him. He said, I got my money back and we'll take care of this. And I said, have a nice day. See you later. It's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys, yeah. Reasonable Ron's. I'm wondering how much long, I don't know. That place I'm curious if that place will be around after the apocalypse. It probably will.
It'd probably be one of the safest places to be.
Hell yeah. Because at the New Sentinel, they did like a bunch of Saul's photos around and back. And I saw that one. I was like, can I get a copy of that and make my own print? Because there's something about that photo of those two guys looking at that one guy working that just fascinates me.
Don't beat me when I say that. It's almost like a KUB picture.
Oh.
2 supervisors and a worker.
Oh, my God. Don't get me started. Also, my dad, being a Teamster and all that, he would, whenever we'd move people, he would every once in a while be like, it's been 15 minutes. I need a break.
Union break.
Union break. Yeah. He always. Oh, man. Okay.
That's good stuff.
Well, thank you for doing this.
Hey, man, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You certainly, or I certainly rambled. So the rambling man, I appreciate it. You've got me thinking now, what am I going to do when I retire?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Well, it's at least a good 10 years before that.
Yeah.
I've got a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
God. Like what? Unless I win the lottery, I'm telling you, I ain't going nowhere.
Well, before we go, so is Kevin Boss still working?
He is still there. He's an inspector.
That's what I thought. I saw him at the Sentinel years ago.
His brother's also working with
David
us. David works out west. He actually is a gentleman on my crew.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually his chief.
Little David.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember who all, because we ended up having like 5 or 6 guys that I went to high school with.
It's funny, the old fire department, what we touched on earlier, people in jail or dead or something, rural being shut down. They used to call it the Lonsdale Mafia.
Really?
Because you either joined the fire department, police department, or jail.
Wow.
I mean, we had a lot of people from Fulton and rural in higher up positions. Well, they eventually made it to higher up positions.
Yeah.
Lee boys, the Presleys, Bob Presley, and then his brother was a cop with the KPD. A lot of people, went to rule in in Fulton.
From ours, I think it was Bost, Pete, Jason Suffrage. There were more, and I can't even remember. But there was a good 5 or 6 guys that I graduated with or graduated around me that went to.
Come to find out, we have a few Halls guys.
Really?
You know, yeah, none of my age.
Oh, okay.
You know, I went to Halls. Really? When did you graduate? 92.
Oh,
I was 2014.
Here, we'll end on, I've got a funny Halls story for you. So when we had our 20th high school reunion for Fulton, the last night was at Barley's. We rented that back room, and we had pizza and beer and everything, but everybody would go out to that deck, and anybody who smoked cigarettes. So it got down to the end of the night, and it's me and Matt Jones, who's a 6'6", redheaded, very white dude. And everybody else are black guys.
Yeah.
And we're all just standing around talking and BSing. And we see this kid walking up, and he opens the door and he kind of looks around. He gets so bug-eyed. Like, what the hell's... And I just looked at him, I was like, how's it going, man? He was drunk because he was wobbling as he was walking. And he was like, good. I just came out here for a cigarette. I was like, come on out, man. We're doing good. This is Dee. This is his wife. You know, I'm married to Colby. This is Wiley. I'm introducing him to everybody. And he's like, what's going on? I was like, well, we all went to Fulton. It's our 20th high school reunion. He's like, oh, cool. I went to Halls. I was like, okay.
That has no bearing.
Yeah. I was like, what year did you graduate? And he was like 26, 27. I was like, you're a young buck. You got a long time to go. You were in elementary school. I think one of the guys was like, you barely had pubes on your balls when you were graduating. Like, we were just giving a little bit of hell. And we were talking. He was finally opening up a little bit. And somebody looked over the side, and there's a cop that sits out back, and he was walking up. He was just going to walk in the back door. He wasn't coming up to us. Had nothing to do. And somebody looked over and said, oh, there's a cop. I was like, okay. And we were all just nonchalant about it. And we turned around, and I saw that kid fast walking.
Gone.
Back inside. He was like, and I can't imagine in his head, I'm hanging out with these Fulton guys, and cops are coming. I don't know what's going on. Like,
it's amazing. You know, like, I'll ask somebody, oh, I probably know your mom.
Yeah.
No, that's actually my grandmother.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I've gotten to that point.
Oh,
They had children very young.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And now it's my grandma. No. I went to school with her. She's no grandma.
She can't be no grandma.
Yeah, no grandma. But.
Oh, man. Yeah, I went up and did that Tennessee Achieves at Fulton and helped out with that. And it was like the second year, and I was like, oh, there's so-and-so. Oh, shit, she has an 18-year-old in here. And I graduated. No.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't see that. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you.